when you're lost with a story, the story is literally something that's going to help you re-engage your audience. So it has to be funny or uber sad. So it's like you gotta go
What's
to.
uber sad?
Well, it's like you gotta go to Pendulum. It's like, you know, your story was funny. You had, I mean, you're the bear, okay? You got the bread, okay? I got the bread. You're the bear, okay? There's Grandma. Let go of the damn bread. That's funny, okay? And that's like over here. Now, uber sad is, I was with my wife, and we're at the University of Utah Hospital for my son's operation. One more time, his femur's getting operated on. It's 10 hours. My son, 6.5 years old, under anesthesia for 10 plus hours. We're pacing. We're walking the halls. We are scared. We're back in the waiting room after the operation. And I watched this mom, beautiful mom, with her 3-year-old son, hanging on to him on the bed. And I'm judging the dad that's not there. What dad in his right mind is not in that room with the mom and the son? You know, start setting up the story for sad, because that really goes down a bunny trail of sad. Your story, how rich of an environment is there for laughter? Look at her. She's sweating. She's scarred. And she's 10,000 feet in grime and gross sweat. I mean, that's Carol Burnett quality stuff right there. That's where you gotta go.
Yep.
Okay.
And right now, you're setting it up for some moms to learn about, you know, perseverance, blah, 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 blah. And that story is so well made to be as funny as, how dumb is a grandma to hold on to that bread?
Well, I
Right
get
there.
that, but I don't totally, I'm not understanding.
With
how I
your
would-
story, how many times did you fall down?
Probably twice.
Okay, how many times did other people fall down? It's like, I mean, I would fill it up with, you know what, there's this stupid rock right in front of me. I'm tired. It's Baldy Mountain, the last peak. Don't trip. Don't trip. Oh, damn it. I tripped. And one more time, I'm
I don't know if
somersaulting.
that fits like what I'm trying to accomplish though. I'm trying to give them a feeling and then I don't really get how that
So-
accomplishes my feeling, which is the last paragraph.
Here's the deal. You said you were going to be 3.5 minutes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know.
You were 5 minutes and 20 seconds, and that's from the second time you started.
Mhm.
You didn't follow your script.
Right.
You
I
were
know.
all over the place. That's why we write this stuff down and
But that
memorize
is
it.
not how, that's how I write. That is not how I talk.
No, we get that.
Listen, listen.
Yeah.
The stories, if you haven't got this yet, Jessica, are written word for word and action for action. This is
I
why.
get that that's the goal.
So,
So that's my
So
first draft.
here's what I'm doing, yeah. Here's what I want you guys to bring. I want you guys to bring a practice sheet. So here's what I want, come up here, I want you to show this, I want to show this to you. Because I made some notes on this to give you an example. And next time I'll bring my vignette. I'll print it out, show you what I do. And here's what you're doing. You're trying to get into your story from your script, but I don't know about you, but you're saying your speech and your presentation as if you're reading a book.
Mhm. Because
Okay? You don't want
written,
to. You don't want to.
yeah, but I was
But you
trying
don't
to
want
do
to. You don't want to. You see, we always talk about there's. I'm a speaker who writes. Therefore, when you read my writing, it's going to be like I'm speaking. You're a writer who's speaking, I think. maybe, I know it's challenging, okay.
One
Look
thing,
what I did here.
can I interject something
No,
here?
hold it, I gotta get through this, because I got a point.
I understand.
Thank you. What I'm doing is I'm trying to excise some things that you don't need to say and how you could write this. Okay. Almost 7 years ago, I had a breakdown. Midlife crisis. I just lost a job I loved. Okay. Excise that. My marriage was on the rocks. And I was out of answers. Now, you see how much I cut out of that? It was very simple bullet points, you know, and I'm pausing, I'm letting it sink in. Then, instead of going, in that fragile state, that's a writer, I made one last ditch effort to prove myself. What I would suggest, it's opinion, say something like this. And after all that, I decided I needed another challenge. You had a challenge, right? So you want another challenge. I don't know how this is sounding to you guys.
What it is, I want you to understand too, do you understand how important the ridge run is? That ridge run sells out how fast?
Right.
15 minutes,
Do you know why?
because everyone wants to do it.
No. It's a world-class, literally a world-class event.
Yeah.
That's why.
Then I'm the
World-class,
only one who didn't run.
world-class runners.
Exactly, but you didn't even really expound upon that part.
I know,
And
but-
being an athlete, I know what that's like to have been drunk or something, have to wake
Or
up the next
still
day.
I know what
and
it's
do it.
like.
You know, and you do too. And so, like, I think what
That's
they're
really
saying
important.
is, yeah,
I didn't do it drunk, I didn't. That's almost as bad. So, as we continue.
Hangover is worse than drunk, actually.
Yeah.
When you're drunk, you don't care. We're gonna have a hangover.
That's not
What I'm suggesting to you is you break these paragraphs down and excise the fluff. That would be great if you read it, but you're not doing that. I agree with Joe. You got a jewel here. You gotta
That
carve
is-
off, you gotta carve off. It's like Joe said, it's like Becklin said, you're talking about, say, I ran it drunk. You know, and you go through, you did fall a couple of times, you slipped. You gotta expound on that. I went up here, watch Carol Burnett. You ever watched her? Long time, by the time you come back as an adult and really watch
She's
that.
over you.
Oh, she is,
Genius.
I just,
She's a
was it on your
genius.
site that I saw Carol Burnett? I
You know,
probably
steal
was.
some of that. And like Joe said, do you realize how many people want it? Sells out. It's a world-class event. And I got in. So you see what I mean? I'm not gonna go through everything. So when you see this idea here, you start going through everything else in the same way, and then you can stay on task. Yeah,
Because
this
that's-
is wonderful.
That speech that you can come up with of that has the power of Lucy's story with the gun coming in the car window.
But do you know why my stories have so much power? Because I am there when I'm telling the story. I was in the Lake Louise picnic ground when I told that story.
See, that's what I tried to do, because I was gonna memorize it, and then Becklin's like, put down your piece of paper.
because I'm gonna put it to you this way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna put it to you this way. If it's not memorized by the time it's in here, you're just not gonna get the effect that you want. Because even for my story today, I feel like it's shaky because I probably practiced it 20 times this morning. But usually I'm practicing my speech in my head starting last Tuesday. So then when I come in, the fat is already cut off, and then God's natural ability for me to be able to live comes in. Right now, with you right now, it's like they're saying, I can literally see your eyes reading your paper, even in your mind. But the difference between that is, that's the same thing you did with your speech when I saw you over at Speakers Connection last time. You did that when you were up here. But then when you gave your speech at Speakers Connection, you could tell you had practiced it 20 times, your natural ability came through, and that's why it was a masterpiece. So I think right now and this is what they told me, it's the fact that we're just cutting the fat off the story. That's all it is.
See, and I struggle to like get to that point,
Right.
because I want the fat cut off before.
Can't happen. Yeah, it's just, you gotta go through the
But
process.
if everyone's gonna change it so much,
Oh, don't worry about it, and let me get to.
then I'm gonna memorize something that then I'm just gonna forget again.
I'm
Like,
gonna
I don't
draw
get
it.
the, like, I think rehearsal should start before I memorize it.
And do me a favor, understand this,
Uh-huh.
Lucy, Mecklin, and Tom are speakers who will write. Me and you are the exact opposite. What is
I
the?
don't know that that's me though.
I
I don't know
understand.
if that best defines me, but I was given an assignment,
Listen,
so I did the
listen,
assignment.
listen to me.
Yeah,
How long have I been public speaking?
since the 80s.
How long is that?
30 years.
35 years. So you're telling me I don't know what I'm saying?
No, about me.
I know public speakers and I know people really, really well. You may not know you're a writer yet, but I want you to know, your head is literally, you love the written word more than you like the spoken word. And that's me. I am a writer. And that's the hardest thing. And that's why, when you get feedback from these guys,
Uh-huh.
understand that their feedback is coming from a person that is 180 degrees different from you.
Right.
And so we'll go over that after this meeting's done. I'll go over this a little bit more with you if you want me to. Right now is not the perfect time to do it.
Well, I practice all the
Oh,
time.
I know that. Believe me. It's in your
And
head
it's
all the time.
pointless for me to go memorize paragraphs of stuff that I'm not gonna use. Like, I just don't have time to go memorize stuff that it's all gonna get asked.
Yeah. And
So
what,
that's what I'm struggling with, because I'm like rehearsal, the way that I've done rehearsal is you bring up your idea and you talk about it and like they tell you where to go and then you memorize that, like the end product. Not like the first
can I
draft.
hug you real quick? Can I hug you real quick?
Sure.